Hello, everyone. We are here. Me and my guy Lucas is back with another live stream. How is everyone doing in here? Shout out to Derek for coming through. What's up? Happy Friday. To relax this weekend. You ain't lying, man. What a week. Um, Lucas, how was your week? You've been around a lot of people's live streams and videos, man. You are more than a writer. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. Personally, I guess I just love being on the air for pretty much everyone I can. I'm like, hey, are you available? And it's like 11:30 at night. I'm like, yeah, I can do it. Might as well.
Yeah, man. I've seen you all over the place. I was like, look at this guy. Just being more than a writer. But yeah, it's been a busy week, man. Media availability. I've seen a bunch of people making videos about those guys with the interviews, and shout out to you guys for being out there interviewing the Colts rookies and all those guys out there. But yeah, that was pretty dope to see. Got to see Bring the Juice in there. I seen Lawrence in there. Steven was in there. The Blue Stable was in there. A bunch of Colts UK was in there. It's a bunch of people that made a video content out there giving out those interviews. It was pretty dope. Pretty dope experience.
Yeah, great to see that the local podcasting community is really getting that media access right now. That's a really great move for going forward for all these platforms right now.
Yeah, man, that was super dope. All right, Matthew, I got you. I got you. Yeah, he said I unfollowed him. I think he didn't know about my Twitter not being suspended, so I had to make a new account.
Yeah,
But
that was
yeah,
the weirdest thing. Like, we're trying to get you back to that 1K on Twitter, my friend, but
I
it's
pretty
the
much gave
grind.
up at this point. I don't think I'm reaching it. I pretty much gave up. It's like, if you follow me, you follow me. If not, so be it. Twitter doesn't want me to be happy, so it's all good. No complaints. We're just gonna go ahead and move on. But how was everyone's week in the chat, man? Derek, if you're still in here, how was your week? Yeah. So he said feeling accomplished. Yeah, man. This week was a very busy week. Probably one of the busiest weeks before the season started. It's a lot of running around. So yeah, we feel accomplished. Edward said his week was good. He said you'll get there. Yeah, I guess. Decent. What happened, man? Let me know before we get into these topics. What happened? Is there anything I can do? You want to shout out on social media? I can do that. Would that make your week better?
It could. It could.
Possibly.
Do you want me to give you a shout out, William? Will that make you feel better?
Yeah, man. Let us know what we can do to help. So yeah, man. You guys, Blue Stable, you guys uploaded earlier. You guys were talking about fantasy football and stuff.
Yeah, we went over a few fantasy football topics like who would you rather have in fantasy for both quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. And we went with Carson Wentz or three different players, Jonathan Taylor, three different players, or T.Y. Hilton and three different players. It was a pretty solid conversation.
Interesting.
We had some big differences on one in particular. I felt Saquon Barkley versus Jonathan Taylor. That could be a really interesting conversation, especially for those people who are doing early in the draft for both redraft or for startup dynasty. So it's going to be a tough decision for many people, but I was really excited to be able to talk about that kind of stuff with Destin earlier.
Yeah, man, 100%. This week's been great. Just got promoted to security lead at my job. Let's go. Flashlight Peridium in the building. Watch out. He's on the loose with the flashlight. Don't get hit by those. Those are especially the heavy ones. The heavy flashlights, man,
Oof.
it'll put you out, especially if you throw it. So yeah, man, everybody show him some love. Congratulations on the promotion, man. That's dope. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
my week's just been boring though. This stream has made my week better. All right, wait, maybe I'm glad that we sparked a little light in your week, man. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah,
Weeks
anything
can
we can
definitely
do to
get
help, my
draining.
friend.
Is it raining over there, Lucas? Or
Finally, no, it's beautiful, sunny out, and absolutely miserable for anyone who has allergies, like
oh
myself
yeah,
included.
yep, I got
But
allergies too.
yeah, I mean, I hate the pollen. I'm just gonna say it. I hate the pollen. I know it has its purpose, just not for me.
Yeah, the pollen, man, it definitely gets you out of there, especially if
Hmm.
you're not prepared. So make sure you got your allergy medications that are prescribed. to get to make sure you got everything straight with those allergies. All
Absolutely, man.
right. So I have a question. First topic of discussion is backup quarterbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Eason and Sam Ellinger. Who you want as your backup quarterback?
Ooh, now this is a tough one because Eason came into the draft last year with a lot higher expectations and a lot higher upside, though he does have quite a bit of development to go for uh, over time, especially with this scheme. So, of course, he didn't get any playing time last year behind both Philip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett, but I'm going to take Eason over Ellinger just because of a little bit more experience, barely if any, but I like Eason's upside a little bit more, though Ellinger could be possibly used a little bit more in terms of every day because maybe they might sub out Carson Wentz similarly as they did with Rivers for those Jacoby Brissett packages. However, Wentz is definitely much more athletic than Rivers, so there's likely that role will not continue in the offense. But if they want to kind of protect Carson Wentz a little bit, maybe they could do that at least. But it'll be interesting to see who makes the active roster.
Yeah, man, 100%. Uh, Definitely, a lot of people will probably go Eason with the height and the arm power. People have been praising his arm strength even before he touched a football in the NFL. And the preseason is definitely going to give me my view of what everybody's talking about because I'm looking forward to that too. I mean, I wouldn't be wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to getting either or at number two. But preferably, I would probably go Ellinger. I don't know, man. I feel like his storyline would probably be better than Eason's. I mean, especially if you want the media's attention as being the Colts team that's never on the media really talked about. If we get a guy like Ellinger, I think it'll give us more revenue and more popularity towards the NFL and give us more attention. Because I don't know, Eason's production, like I said in my video, I said Eason, he just gives me Brock Osweiler vibes. Tall arm power, but really couldn't. Even though he had an advantage seeing over the pocket, could never really get it done in whatever organization he was at. Not knocking Eason. I would love him to have a backup quarterback, but if I had a preference, I would probably go Sam Ellinger.
That's an interesting take. I haven't heard that one around a whole lot, but hey, good on you, my friend.
You say you haven't paid attention to either of them? Yeah, I mean, his release is faster than Wentz. Look at the videos. Eason, yeah, videos can do some justice, but not all justice because I mean, he doesn't have like five people coming screaming to go get a sack against him either. So, I mean, don't know until we actually see that game in the preseason. I'm looking forward to the preseason because that's going to have all my answers, man. That's going to have all my answers. Another answer we want to know is where is the scarf? They're looking for the scarf.
Man, I'm not fronting with the scarf. I was only doing the. I had the dude's jacket earlier. That was no scarf whatsoever. Come on, the Great Patriot.
Hey man, I think you're getting famous off the scarf. I don't know.
I haven't even worn a scarf yet, but I'm already famous for the scarf.
That's kind of hey man. Shout out to the Great Patriot on the Twitch channel. I think you are streaming at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. If you ended it already, I mean I was busy, but I did see you were live earlier. Another question: will the undrafted free agent streak stay alive?
Ooh, that is a tough one because also it was called the bathrobe.
Yep.
Hey, if you want to call it a bathrobe, you can call it a bathrobe. That just ain't what it is, but teach their own. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, with the undrafted free agent streak, it's going to be tough this year. There isn't a whole lot of obvious places where you could possibly put a undrafted free agent on the active roster. Maybe you could get one of the few guys like Tyler Vaughn. Maybe he sneaks onto the active roster at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Maybe if Marlon Mack does not look good coming off of his Achilles, maybe Deion Jackson sneaks in at running back out of Duke. Could see maybe Kafusi over at the Sam linebacker spot, but there isn't a whole lot of options outside of those three. So I think it could possibly stay on, but I'm not sure I'm betting on it at this point.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. Especially like I say in everything, man. Depth goes a long way if you're trying to make the Super Bowl. You got to have players ready and the ones on the sideline ready too. So the next man up can definitely be that And I don't know about the undrafted free agent streak. I definitely think it can change over time. I mean, anything's possible. And if you get blessed with that opportunity, I mean, I'll be rooting for you until you get on that field and wet the bed. But I mean, you got my support. You got my support 100%.
It's going to be an uphill battle, but I'm looking forward to it.
Said, I'm not live anymore. All right, cool. He said, I think it's going to be a battle between those two in the preseason. Eason has the inside track, but Ellick is more polished. And with what had happened to his brother, he's going to have some fire in him.
Oh, yeah. That was a tragedy what happened to his brother earlier, about a month ago. He's definitely going to be possibly have a big fire in him, of course. Thoughts and prayers to the Ellinger family, but hoping for the best for Sam, just both in his personal life as well as his NFL future.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. He said it's called the bathrobe. There's no point of arguing anymore at this point, Lucas.
I think a bathrobe has to go a certain length, and I don't think it meets that length criteria. I think we'll have to post the Oxford Dictionary definition of a bathrobe later on Twitter.
Probably, man. We can only see shoulder up, so we don't know at this point.
Fair enough. Ooh, but
hey.
To each their own, my friend. Maybe you guys are going all Playboy on this thing.
Oh my goodness. All right, next question. Where do the Colts rank in the AFC? That's a tricky one. I know there's going to be a lot of different opinions on that one.
Yeah, that one, I could see them going possibly as high as number 3 in the AFC, though some people might be putting them on a little bit later as a wild card.
Shout out to Lawrence for stepping in before he hits the live stream. Appreciate you. How you doing, man?
Welcome.
What's going on, guys? What y'all talking about, man?
We were just asking, where do you rank the Colts in the AFC as of right now?
Ooh, that's
a good one.
Yeah.
4th.
Okay, not mad at that. Somebody said 3rd.
I'll say 4th because currently I think the Browns are better than the Colts right now overall.
Okay.
I mean, I think all of us are going to put Chiefs and Bills, right? I assume. Until we beat the Bills, that's kind of a situation that we're in. But the Browns, they were good last year. They got better in the offseason. So, I'm just a little worried about that. But still 4th overall until we see our pass rush and how Carson Wentz runs, which I have faith in Carson, but I think 4th is a good number.
Okay. I like that.
I could see it at that 4th or 5th level. There's also the question of the Ravens as well. Mm-hmm. They did lose a few pass rushers, though they did add Owe, who is very raw, so I don't expect him to be a big threat, at least for year 1. But
they lost some offensive linemen, too.
They lost Skura and Orlando Brown, but they still do have a very, very dangerous set of running backs. Of course, Lamar Jackson. They upgraded their passing weapons a little bit, though. We'll see how big that has an impact, considering they had the least amount of wide receiver targets last year. So I could see them possibly being it, but I would put the Colts ahead of the Ravens at this point.
Yeah, I like that. I mentioned the Lamar Jackson thing. I think it was on Twitter when we were talking about Lamar, but I was like, hey, man, regular season Lamar Jackson is totally different. He was talking playoffs, I give us an advantage, but regular season Lamar is pretty much unstoppable when it comes to playing them because he's just so locked in the regular season. But I don't know. He loses composure in the playoffs, but hopefully he can get over that slump eventually.
I think the Colts played the Ravens really, really well, even with certain situations holding us back. You know, I mean, we held the Ravens to the lowest rushing total and average per carry of the Lamar Jackson era. For the Ravens, we held them to like 110 yards as a team rushing, and that was unheard of before then. You know, and I think we only gave them I think they only averaged something like 2.3 yards a carry, which is stupid numbers considering, the team was averaging over 5 yards a carry before the Colts went in there. So the only thing is, man, you got to get pressure on Lamar Jackson, even in the passing game. And because that zone defense that Eberflus has, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It doesn't matter. If he's got time, he's going to pick you apart. And that's the worry that I have about this defense.
Yep.
So thankfully, as you said, they did lose quite a few offensive line pieces, and we gained a few retooling on the defensive line. So I think that might be a advantage that we have compared to our last matchup that we had earlier in 2020.
I mean, we got potential all across the defensive line, but nothing proven at pass rusher yet. That's the only issue. You know, I got to see it happen, right? I love Teray. I think that Phillips will come in and be kind of a Danico Autry type, you know, addition. I think Pay's going to end up being good, but he's a rookie, so you might not see much of him, you know, when it comes to impact wise early on in the season. You need to see them actually come out and do something. And I think for Matt Eberflus, until these guys step up and show that they are up to the task, I think he needs to kind of, I doubt it'll happen because he almost never does. I think he needs to adjust how he game plans defensively and maybe sends a little more blitzes than what he's used to, you know, especially these first 5-6 weeks when we're playing 10+ win teams, you know, that are very, very good. I mean, good Lord, you can't let Matt Stafford and the Rams sit there in week 2 and have, you know, 4 or 5 seconds to throw the football. Matt is going to kill you with all those weapons, you know? So yeah, he's got to figure something out.
Lawrence, I'm happy that you're coming around on that idea that Eberflus is going to turn up a few more blitzes this year, especially early.
I hope. I said that last year though, but he didn't. You know,
true.
I think he was the second least blitzing coach in the NFL.
Yeah, man, 100%.
So maybe he'll be the third least. You know. That's an upgrade.
Oh gosh, that's not a big jump, but I mean it's better than nothing, right?
It's a big jump. If it's a big jump, if every other team in the NFL increases their blitzes too, I mean,
it could be. You never know.
Yeah, I don't want nobody to fight me about this, but we were talking about the Cleveland Browns and how we ranked them. I really looking forward to watching them play next year, and I actually want Anthony Walker Jr. to probably be one of the best linebackers in the NFL in that system. I think it's possible for him to do that. I think he has. I don't know. I think his support around Cleveland is probably better. Plus, with the scheme he's running, I think he has. I think he'll be on the field more for Cleveland. So I don't know. I think he can have that potential. What do you guys think about Anthony Walker Jr. in Cleveland going into next year?
Go ahead, Lucas.
All right. Well, I am really excited to see what he can do. Of course, he is a phenomenal leader of a defense. Very smart up front. He's not the most talented linebacker that they have right now because they, of course, drafted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in the second, which I am very, very excited. I have him as a sleeper defensive player of the year pick, or defensive rookie of the year pick, I should say. But I think Anthony Walker is going to be a vital mentor to him, especially in kind of sifting through the run as well. I'm excited to see how he develops even now because Anthony Walker still is a pretty young linebacker and he might not have hit his ceiling at this point. So he did land in a phenomenal fit and I think he's going to do very well. I'm sad to see him go, but I also am very excited to see what Bobby Okereke can do in his role as well.
100%.
A lot of Colts fans don't realize this, but he's led the Indianapolis Colts in tackles the last 2 seasons, right?
Yep.
I mean, last year he played less snaps than Darius Leonard, but had more tackles. This guy is a run stopper. He understands offenses. He knows how to read them and know what's going to happen before the balls even snap. The one thing about the Browns defense that they had issue last year was stopping the run. That's why they went out and got themselves another defensive tackle. That's why they went out and got Anthony Walker. And I think Anthony Walker is going to have a great time because, as you said, Lucas, you know, he's a smart guy, right? I mean, he's basically a coach on the field. He took Darius Leonard under his wing and taught him, you know, basically how to run. That's why Darius is going to be taking over that role that Anthony Walker had when it comes to, you know, basically captaining the defense for the Colts. I feel like he's going to do this very similar with the Browns. And it's a 1-year small amount of contract, like 3.5, 2.5, something like that for 1 year. I think he's going to get paid next year. I think he's going to have a really good season with the Browns. And I think Man, I'm telling people the Browns are going to win the AFC North.
It's possible.
I think they're going to beat out. I think they're going to beat out the Ravens, and I think the Steelers are going to take a massive hit. They might not even be third, depending upon how Ben Roethlisberger goes this season.
So you feel like the Steelers are going to possibly be worse than the Bengals? That is an interesting take there, right?
The Bengals got potential, though.
They do have potential.
The Bengals have slowly been rebuilding their team. The only problem I have is why do you go get a great weapon instead of protecting your franchise quarterback? That made no sense to me. I get it. Okay, Burrow used to throw to the guy. Okay, I understand that in college, but how's he going to throw to him if he's on his back, right? So that was a very mind befuddling thing that I saw happen in the draft. But we'll see, because I do believe that the Bengals are trying to build right, So we'll see how that works out. I mean, the offense has got a lot of weapons. I mean, a lot of good weapons. They got Mixon back there. They got weapons to throw to. They got Burrow back there. If Burrow can stand up for at least 2.5 seconds per snap on average, that's a dangerous team. Offensively, anyhow.
They do have good tackles, in my opinion. Jonah Williams he had his first year playing last year. If he stays healthy, I think he could develop into a solid left tackle. Riley Reif is a all right tackle as well, though he's only on a 1-year deal, so it's not exactly a long-term solution, especially considering his age as well. But that interior offensive line is just a mess. I mean, maybe like Trey is all right, kind of close to average center, but outside of that is the worst guard room I have seen in the NFL, and I am not a big believer in who they brought in to be a developmental guard right there, when there were some better options on the board in that time. So
the AFC, they're building off a lot of defensive tackles right now. I mean, the NFL is pulling towards getting interior pressure more than what it used to be. It used to be you need that outside edge pressure. Now it's a lot more kind of focusing more on the defensive tackles, your 1 and 3 techs. And if you don't have good centers and guards, then if you ain't got a quarterback that can just go like a Watson or a Mahomes or a Wilson, then that quarterback is in some serious trouble. And Joe Burrow is not a Watson. He's not Josh Allen, right? So, yeah, they need to get some beef up there in the middle of that offensive line.
Yeah, man, 100%. I love Joe Burrow, by the way. Shout out to LSU, but we know that's just a side note. For this question, I don't think that'll be any case at all. Shout out to Inside the Horseshoe Podcast for coming through. How was your week? Feel free to let me know in the chat, man. Appreciate you 100%.
Shout out to Loyalist. That's my new co-host.
Hey, let's go. I know you. I was in the live stream the other day. I know you mentioned about bringing him on as a co-host, and I was like, co-host? Oh, but I never got a response. So I was like, oh, well, news breaking on my stream. Let's go. I like you.
Yeah, I had a wonderful time talking to him on your show earlier, Lawrence, when we were going over the defensive lines. It was a good test to see, how you could bounce off with him, and he absolutely aced it. So I'm excited to see what he will do.
Yeah, man, protect Joe Burrow. That's 100%. Steelers 8-9. That's a good team. They got a tough schedule. Who knows? They may be disappointed. I don't know. Hey, shout out to the guy that's at work that tried to make the stream but wasn't available. How you doing today, man? Appreciate you.
Yeah, the thing with the Steelers is they're all. I mean, they could end up have a winning record because that defense. That's it. That defense is nasty. I ain't gonna lie. I know. It's an incredibly aggressive, opportunistic defense and very fast. And I think Minkah Fitzpatrick was like that missing cog, and it was a great decision to go trade for him from Miami. But they lost Connor, James Conner at running back. Now they went and picked up his replacement in the draft, but we have yet to see what he's going to be like in the NFL. So, you don't know. But yeah, it's all about whether or not the rubber band arm, that elbow of Ben Roethlisberger, whether it's going to hold up the entire season or not. That's the only thing that's really going to affect.
Yeah, man, 100%. I see you guys on the comment section. I'm putting them on there to let you know I'm not missing you guys. But 100%. I'm glad to hear that your week was good. But I agree with you guys 100%. I think I was the first one to break the news about Malik Hooker visiting Pittsburgh yesterday. If nobody noticed, I kind of retweeted it out at night, and then Ian Rappaport tweeted it out this morning that he visited Pittsburgh. Can you guys imagine Malik Hooker in Pittsburgh? That would probably be the nastiest safety duo in the NFL. Him and Micah Fitzpatrick. I know they got Edmonds, but they can put him at box safety at first. Lawrence, I know you're a film guy. Please let me know your thoughts on that move. If it was
they'll go 3 safety looks all the time, and no one will throw further than 15 yards against that defense. No one. That would be a very scary. You would need to be able to run the damn ball against Pittsburgh to beat them, and that's just all there is to it. You're going to have to find a way of pushing T.J. Watt out or running away from him and power running up the middle, trying to – because, I mean, I like Minka. I like Malik Hooker, but you put a body on them, they're not tackling anybody, you know? So, yeah, you'd have to be very, very effective running against Pittsburgh in order to beat that team, in order to score 20 points against that defense. Because otherwise, you're throwing interceptions all the time.
Man, I'm telling you, that'd be gross. Lucas, what's your thoughts on that?
I agree that assuming healthy, Malik Hooker would be a phenomenal addition to that defense. But of course, that is a pretty big assumption at this point that he's coming back from Achilles. Now, granted, it was a very early in the season Achilles injury, so he has time to come back from it. But will he maintain that same level of explosiveness and speed and being able to go from sideline to sideline as much as he did previously? I don't know. Could go either way, but assuming health, he would be a phenomenal addition. It's just there are some questions health-wise of can he maintain it and how long will he be able to play at that level? So I see it as a buy low, sell high potential move. Worst case scenario, they chuck like $2-3 million at Malik Hooker and for a 1-year deal, and he gets injured, and that's just money out the door for only 1 year.
I was surprised that he didn't come away with a deal when he went to the Cowboys because they needed safety help so bad. And what they do, they ended up signing the other 2 safeties from last year that had Achilles injuries.
Yep.
Makes no sense. Maybe Hooker wanted more money than what the Cowboys were willing to offer. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. You guys know how Jerry Jones get down in that office when it comes to deals.
Yeah. So. Yeah. He'll pay everybody on the offense. But unless your name is Tank Lawrence, you ain't getting paid jack on that defense.
100%.
Just ask Byron Jones. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a big knockoff, and he had a really good year in Miami. Shout out to Byron Jones, man. No, he didn't. I kind of did ruin it for me, though. I said I heard Malik Hooker was in Pittsburgh, but you didn't hear this from me. But so I guess I didn't give myself credit when I should have. But it was late at night. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, what? But hey. It is what it is. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not even really that pressed to be breaking news like that because I'm not a source. So I don't want people coming, whoa, you didn't know about this. Oh, you didn't know about that.
What, you don't want to be the at NFL Rums account?
Nope. Don't want to be any of that at all. Good.
You don't want to be that other podcast. It's like, according to my inside information.
Nope. Don't want any of it.
What I'm talking about.
Yep, I don't want that.
What one are you referring to? That is a great mystery.
No idea.
What's up, High Five? How you doing? We got Earthsave, pure gold, 100%.
0 sources.
I hate it here.
So, Lawrence, you are truly a man of the culture.
Let's go ahead and hop into another one. For fantasy football people out there in the fantasy football world, who would be the second best fantasy football player in 2021 on the Colts behind Jonathan Taylor? If anybody wants to go, you can go ahead.
I think Carson Wentz is going to have a lot better year than what a lot of people think. I really do.
I like that.
Yeah. Carson Wentz could possibly get into that QB1, QB2 territory, as he'd probably be a backup on most teams, fantasy teams, but he could be a spot starter if your quarterback goes down or on bye week situations. But he could be pretty usable potentially, especially depending on the matchup.
Well, see, look at it this way. Okay, the Colts have so many weapons, in my opinion, when it comes to throwing the football, as wide receivers. You got tight ends. You got all these running backs. There's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be split, a lot of carries and a lot of touches. The only player that's going to be touching that ball 100% of the time is that quarterback, right? So I would put the money on Carson Wentz.
The question was for William. He asked, "What's the question? Who would be the second best person for fantasy football behind Jonathan Taylor to have on your roster?" And Lawrence said Carson Wentz.
I think I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction just because of how it's not. I don't think it would be in terms of fantasy points scored, but in terms of how usable would they be on your fantasy roster.
Right.
And of course, Jonathan Taylor, he's going to be a RB1, worst case scenario, high end RB2 on your team. And that's absolute worst case scenario.
A lot of people have Jonathan Taylor, I think, in total football fantasy for the NFL. I think they have him listed as the sixth RB1. So, like overall in the NFL, that's not bad.
Yeah, especially considering the stacked running back room behind him as well.
Yeah.
So I think if I had to go for it, I'd go for a possible receiving target as the number one or as the number two guy behind Taylor. So I think I'd possibly go Nyheim Hines, really. I think he's going to get a very sizable workload out of the backfield. Might regress a little bit compared to Phillip Rivers, just because Phillip Rivers absolutely loved the check down. But I think he could also maintain a good rushing total, and along with a sizable receiving role. I mean, if he gets like around 50 to 60 receptions, he can do a lot of damage with that on top of his rushing totals. I think he could be a very interesting flex piece for a lot of fantasy teams.
Question from the chat: over or under on Dale and Fisher to return before week 6?
I don't think Dio makes it before. Dio will not make it before week 6. I don't think.
Fisher, maybe.
I believe Fisher will make it inside the first 4 weeks. I don't think he'll be ready week 1. I think he might be on a pup to start the season, but I think that he'll maybe week 4 they'll probably bring him out. That's from what I'm understanding and hearing. But yeah, Dio didn't have that same surgeon, so there's no. I don't think he's gonna. That's more of a 12 to 15 month thing. And hopefully it's not a 12 month, hopefully it's closer to the 12 month. Otherwise he won't be starting at all next year.
Yeah, they're going to take it easy with Dio as well. He's a long-term piece, so they're not going to be trying to rush him onto the field for 2021. It would be great to have him, but even if he comes back, he's not going to be at 100% even then. So I think it's best to have him pretty much sit out for as long as he can to just get at that 100% level. And who knows when that will be.
Remember, there's 18 weeks in the NFL this year, 17 games. So if he makes it by week 12, I would be happy, as long as he's 100%. And that's all I want. Like you say, I want him to be 100% healthy. I don't want him, no chance of having a relapse, right? Because, I mean, that would be awful.
Yeah, man, 100%.
Yeah, Colts fans have learned over the last few years that it's great to have your players out on the field, but that doesn't mean a lick of anything if they keep on having to have recurring injuries if you keep on rushing them. Better to be patient and let them heal their bodies.
It's like Teray, Teray came back a little bit too. They rushed him back a little bit too early, got hurt, had to end up getting surgery again. Ballard even put that on himself. He's like, that was me. I'm sorry, So, yeah, we got to make sure that the guys are 100% healthy and no problems. That's why I'm a little worried about Mac too.
Yeah, man. Hey, Charles, how you doing? I couldn't say hi earlier, but how was your week, Charles? Feel free to let me know in the chat. Shout out to Lamont for stopping by as well. Let me know how your week was. I'm going to interact with you guys. Shout out to William. I've seen your comment. Yes, I need your shout out 100%.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on here, but I have to jump off here and get ready for my stream. So
yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah, it was great talking to you, Lawrence.
I'm glad you had me on here. Yeah. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe and tag that notification bell. All right, that's the best way of showing support for Culture Shock.
100%. Shout out to Coast Law, man, the film room guru. Show him some love in his live stream. I won't be live long, so when I'm done, definitely go over here to his live stream. I'm pretty sure he'll still be live. But yeah, appreciate you for joining, man.
All right. Later,
All right.
Lucas. Later, man.
See you around, man. Hey, you got to get ready. You got to try and go through the process, of course. So, hey, if he needs to get ready for 25 minutes for his stream, so be it.
All right, Coach Loyalist. Peace out, man. Enjoy your stream, man. We'll be in there later.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
Steven says, still going to say we should have took Basham.
Probably not in the round 2 pick, in my opinion.
All right. Let's spice it up really quick. We're going to do a keep, trade, and cut scenario. So keep, trade, or cut. We got 3 players. T.Y. Hilton, Xavier Rhodes, or Naheem Hines.
That would be very, very tough. Of course, I expect all these players to make it on this roster for 2021. But if there was this crazy scenario, I would keep Naeem Hines as a long-term piece as the change of pace back behind Jonathan Taylor. I would trade Xavier Rhodes, as I feel like I could get a pretty solid haul from him because he's maintained a very strong level of play in 2020. So, and then sadly, I would cut T.Y. Hilton. It would break my heart to do so.
Oh,
he is a fan favorite, and I have loved him for years as a player. Though I do feel pretty confident about some of the backups behind him developing with added time. But it's a tough one. It's a very tough one to decide between those 3.
That is tough. Well, for me, I'm going to think a little differently. First, I'm going to cut Xavier Rhodes. I'm going to trade Naheem Hines because he's young and valuable. Most running backs are dual threats, and Naheem Hines is one of those guys. So I think he's going to have a little bit more value than when it comes to Xavier Rhodes, who's pretty much at the end. And then I'm going to keep T.Y. Hilton because I want him to retire as a Colt. I don't want to cut or trade him, man. I just couldn't do that. But yeah, I definitely trade Hines if anything because I know he can prosper in any other system because just of how good he is. But yeah, I said I dislike you now, Lucas.
Hey, I'm just thinking about forward thinking for the Colts, not backwards thinking in terms of what they have done in the past. I'm thinking about what they'll do in the future. And sadly, I don't know how much T.Y. has left on that front, though I do think that he's going to have a bounce back year with Carson Wentz this year because of a better deep ball placement from Wentz. So we'll see what happens. I love T.Y. with as much as I can as a football fan, but I'm just trying to look at it as who will be most important going forward in 2022.
Yeah, 100%. If you guys have any questions, Colts related or personal, just feel free to let us know in the comment section. We got one more question. I don't know. It says top 10 Colts for 2021, but that's a lot of people. I mean, we could do top 5. I don't know.
Top 5. Now that is a tough list to narrow down right there.
Yeah.
The top 5 best Colts for 2021. I gotta say, the ones that have to make the list, of course, are Quentin Nelson, DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard. Those are 3 absolute locks. No question about it. But then after that, you start getting into, should you go Braden Smith? Should you go Kenny Moore, Xavier Rhodes, Ryan Kelly even? So that is a very, very tough list to narrow down to 5. But I'm thinking number 1 would be Big Q. Number 2, DeForest Buckner. Number 3, Leonard. Number 4 is Kenny. And number 5 is Braden Smith.
Okay. I like that. Before I give mine, there was a quick question. He said, did anyone notice Eberflus mentioning Speed and Franklin in competition for third linebacker? I mean, we pretty much knew that was going to happen anyway, being to how it looks. But yeah, we pretty much know. We all watched the videos. There was a bunch of people dropping content about the media when Matt Eberflus was being interviewed. But yeah, shout out to you, Martin. How was your week? Feel free to let us know. Said Marcus Brady seemed to like Easton's development. Yeah, he's a QB coach, so if anyone knows, it's definitely him. It's definitely him. Watching Carson throwing is like I can find some. He said Taylor, Hilton, Buckner, Leonard, and Blackman. I like that. Said love Hines, but our CB room without Xavier Rhodes would be the worst in the league. Yeah, you ain't lying about that. Said
I don't know.
Jonathan
I
Taylor.
really like the corners behind Xavier Rhodes as well. I love Kenny, of course, in the nickel. Rock, he's been up and down, but I think he can be a serviceable cornerback too. But then you get into the question of who would be the other outside corner, and Marvell Tell, I think, is going to be very, very interesting to watch. And of course, TJ Carey had a really, really strong end of the year last year. And I also like what Isaiah Rogers could possibly develop into later. So it would definitely be a downgrade. No question about it if we lost Xavier Rhodes. But I do like the pieces behind him, at least for a developmental sense. Maybe not so much for 2021, but 2022 and later, that could be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, who is your top 5 players for 2021 for the Colts?
Mine would be no particular order: Julian Blackman, Jonathan Taylor, Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard, and dark horse would be Marley Cox, because I feel like he can be a red zone threat. I think he can be a big red zone threat. And Carson Wentz does love throwing the football to the tight ends. So I feel like his production rate will go up next season. I definitely think he can be one of the best out there.
He could. It all depends on how much they want to use him as a receiving threat. He's been a very good moving piece as an inline blocker and even as an H-back earlier in his career. But outside of week 2 with the Vikings last year, we haven't really seen him being used as one of the guys in the passing game. He's been occasional here or there, and last year was his biggest volume year, but I really like his potential to possibly step up in a big way this year as well. Maybe not to be that top 5, but he's going to be on the rise finally.
Yeah, man, 100%, man. I definitely think that's possible. If you guys have any questions in the chat, feel free to let us know. Martin didn't tell me how his week went, but it's okay. I think he's more of a Colts guy, so I understand.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think Wentz would be upset about throwing to Mo Cox after the game of knockout?
No question. No question. I don't think he'll be upset. I mean, he might have.
I don't know. The Philly media is always saying how terrible of a guy he is in the locker room. Oh, gosh.
Oh, Buckner and Kenny Moore take this brick. Nah, man. We all know Buckner doesn't count, though. We all know what Buckner does when he's on the field. You can't have him in that top 5 list. It's like a unanimous decision when it comes to DeForest Buckner, because everybody knows DeForest Buckner is probably one of the most pivotal pieces on the Colts roster.
Then why not put him in that top 5 as the best 5 players?
That's an automatic number, though. It's an automatic number. I mean, you got so many. I mean, I understand that's why you asked for 10, but I mean, I really couldn't put him in there because it's an automatic number. I just made a video about DeForest Buckner, what he's going to do next season. So, I mean,
fair. You give him his due.
William shouted it out earlier, so that's pretty much. What's up, JDW? How you doing, man? How was your week? All right, I see questions are starting to roll in. Taylor starter over Mac. You can answer that one.
Mm-hmm. Easy. Yeah, Taylor over Mac.
Rhodes or Rocky Sin? I think everyone's picking Rhodes on that one.
Yep. Now the cornerback behind that with Rhodes versus Carey, Tell, and Rogers, that could be a very interesting battle right there.
Yeah, they Eberflus did say the cornerback three is definitely open, so there's no destined spot for anyone. So I think they're gonna go battle for cornerback 3 spot. He mentioned Marvell Tell coming back after being redshirted last year. So I mean, who would you want at quarterback number 3?
I actually still do believe in Rocky Sin, though this could be the make or break kind of season where he has more competition than ever before in terms of his snaps. So I could see it possibly being TJ Carey to start out, and maybe you mix in Rocky Sin. But if Rocky Sin does not develop, then the guy who might take it later on could be Marvell Tell.
Yeah, man, 100%. He said, hey, what's up, Marcus? What about T.Y. Hilton? Oh, I already know T.Y. is going to have probably a really good season this year. Got a quarterback that's a gunslinger that's going to get the football out there in the air. So I expect T.Y. to have a way better year than last year.
Now, who do you think is going to be the wide receiver 1? T.Y. Hilton or Michael Pittman Jr.?
It has to be Ty. It has to be. We all know how much of a threat Ty is when he's on the field. So him being number one is just going to be the decoy. Gives all the distractions out there on the field, just opens it up for everyone else. So he has to be number one.
True. I think it all depends on how much you trust in the development of Michael Pittman Jr. at this point, and if you believe T.Y. Hilton will stay healthy throughout the year.
Right.
Like, those are the two big factors that could swing it in either direction.
Yeah.
But assuming health, I'd probably go T.Y. Hilton as well.
Is it Pascal or Campbell?
To start out, I'd say probably Campbell, but if he gets injured, then of course Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Campbell can do so many different things for the offense that Pascal will never be able to do in terms of speed and yards after the catch. Though Pascal is a very reliable and proven guy, so Pascal will probably have the better end of the year stats just because of health potentially.
Yeah, I seen you in there, Rashad. I seen you in there. I heard your voice. I was like, oh, look, Rashad. And actually, one of them had a camera with all you guys on there. It's pretty cringe, but I was like, look at all those Colts media in there. You'll love to see it. PFF got us ranked as number 2 running back group. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you remembered me. We was going to talk about PFF. Shout out to you. He said, hey, Lawrence. Lawrence is gone. He's about to go live. I think JT is the lead guy, but to be real, there isn't one dominant. He's going to be the one dominating you. You guys get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I actually did a projection article on how I feel the carries and the receiving work is going to be in the running back group. And surprisingly, the Colts do have a clear-cut number, or at least with Frank Reich's scheme, he does tend to have a clear-cut number one guy. Though that guy ends up getting around 51, 52% of the carries. And the rest of the guys are trying to fight it out for maybe they get 25% or 20% as the RB2. But could get even more receiving work than him, of course, with Nyheim Hines. So I think Taylor's going to be the clear-cut lead back, of course, but there's going to be a very steady rotation, especially with Hines and Mack as well.
T.Y. is only 87 in Madden 21. It's disgraceful. Yeah, if you actually use T.Y. in Ultimate Team, his overall goes to a 95. So 97, I think. It goes to a 97 with the Coach Kims. So.
Oh, yeah. I love to use him on a reverse. That is phenomenal just to get him into open space and just juke the hell out of cornerbacks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I seen that. I was like, look at all the Colts guys. They know what's going on. All right, man. Let me load up PFF real quick.
Yeah, that number 2 overall running back group.
Yeah.
Ooh. And the number one, does anyone in the chat know who was number 1 on PFF's running back group rankings?
The guy on the right is Lucas. He said he read your mind. What was the question you said?
He was talking about the Zach is reliable, low risk, low reward, and Campbell's that high risk, high reward guy when we were talking about wide receivers earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what JDW Sports Talk Show was talking about with me reading his mind.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, the PFF one.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, JDW.
All right. Let's see what PFF did today. Top 10, 10 NFL players under pressure to perform in year 2. Okay, number 1, I guess, is Tua. I don't think it's a particular order.
William, I was just trying to see if everyone knew who the number 1 group was. I know it's common sense. I just wanted to see if anyone was bold enough to say it was someone other than Cleveland. Tebow, best running back group.
Henry Ruggs. They said Henry Ruggs is under pressure.
Yeah, I could see that.
Jeffrey Okudah. Detroit Lions, that's a corner they drafted last year.
Yeah, the development for cornerbacks coming out is pretty steep, and I loved Okudah, but he needs to step it up in year 2, of course, to live up to that hype.
Yeah, man. I like Okudah coming out. Mm-hmm. Andrew Thomas, tackle for the Giants.
Yeah, a lot of pressure is on you when you're taking in the first tackle in the draft that is absolutely stacked and everyone else performs just a little bit better than you. Or a
Right?
lot better in the case of Tristan Wirfs, dear Lord.
Isaiah Simmons for the Cardinals. I don't think that's much of him, though. I think it's the Cardinals that's under pressure than him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Cardinals, they have not given me a whole lot of confidence over the years in their ability to use versatile defensive players, especially my 2017 draft crush, which was Hassan Reddick. They did not use him well at all until the very last year. But we'll see if Isaiah Simmons can be utilized as well as he can be. But I do not have confidence in the Cardinals on that front.
100%. What's up, Anthony? How was your week, man? Feel free to let me know in the chat. Said Bobby Okereke, Anthony Hurd said it's hope Hines take the running back number 2. He worked his butt off for the Colts.
I think he will be RB2.
Inside the Horseshoe podcast said I wonder if JT will be there since he's the number 16 running back in the league, according to PFF. Rashad said they don't know how to use him or Deion Buchanan. Hey,
You ain't
shout out to the
wrong.
Cardinals.
You ain't wrong.
Shout out to the Cardinals. Austin Jackson for the Miami Dolphins. And they say Jalen Rager for the Eagles.
I mean, you're probably going to be under a lot of pressure as the wide receiver is taken just before Justin Jefferson. So
Right?
Jalen Rager makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What's up, Nomadic Brian? How was your week, man? He says hello to Colts fans. Damon Arnett for the Las Vegas Raiders is under pressure. And that whole Raiders defense is under pressure. Michael Pittman Jr. is under pressure. Wow, I did not see that coming.
I mean, I don't see it as much pressure as like some of the other guys listed, but I mean, he does have a little bit of competition if Paris Campbell stays healthy, but his injury last year was an absolute fluke thing, so I don't think he has that much pressure compared to everyone else on the list.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, that injury wasn't even a field injury.
Yeah. It was compartmental leg syndrome, which was just a very random thing that he had to go through. It wasn't anything that he did or pulled anything or broke anything. It was just something he had to do to correct himself physically.
Yeah. Rashad said, good luck trying to get the rock from Hurts. Yeah, Rager is definitely, I guess, the one that's under pressure and not Jalen Hurts. But hey, I'm curious to see how Fetch Magic does. Yeah.
Yeah. Though, of course, Rager has a lot of pressure as well because they just drafted Devonta Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have to compete with him for some snaps and targets.
Yeah, I don't know how Pittman Jr. is on this list. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that seems a little bit early on that front.
And they said the wild card is Jordan Love. Imagine.
Yeah. If Rodgers gets traded, you just sub him in instead of Pittman.
He said Pittman looked better post injury. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. He was really, really good against the Bills in the playoffs last year. That was really impressive.
Absolutely. Said we went pretty good packing up now. Got to go deep fish and seep in the Gulf. Hey, I like that. Enjoy it.
Yeah, have fun, Anthony.
Definitely have fun. Let's see. Okay, I found one. It says, get Rashad's comment off. Ranking all 32 NFL receiving corps ahead of the 2021 season. Okay, brace yourself, Lucas. I know how this can be. Brace yourself. This may brainstorm a new article for you for the Blue Stable, so you can be thanking me later.
I could be.
That's if you're not mad enough. Just saying.
Oh, you know me. I'll just be furious, cursing a storm. Damn you, Pro Football Focus. Throwing darts at Colin Kaepernick. Or not Colin Kaepernick, Chris Collinsworth. No.
If we could steal one draft pick, who would it be? If we can steal one, it'll probably be Darisaw.
I would have gone Trevor Lawrence,
Look at this guy. Is it the hair? Is that why?
No, so that way the Jaguars can continue to suffer, one. because no one in the AFC South deserves happiness besides the Colts. So, one, steal Trevor Lawrence. He'll be the long-term developmental quarterback behind Wentz.
He said I'll steal J.C. Horn. He said, did somebody say Blue Stable? I say Blue Stable all the time. We was actually on the website the other live stream last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm always saying the Blue Stable. I'm kind of ugly when it comes to it, but hey, you ain't hear that from me. All right, let's go ahead and check this out, right?
All right, who do you think is number one?
It's got to be probably the Buccaneers or the Chiefs, knowing them. See, he'll still Kyle Pitts.
That'd be a very fun one to see.
Yeah, here we go. Number one is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as I expected.
Wow, that is shocking.
I expected that. They just won the Super Bowl. They're going to have the number one that's going into next season. Nobody's going to decline or anything. They're just going to be number one again because they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they have a very, very strong receiver room. They got Evans, Godwin, AB, assuming AB doesn't go crazy and everything. They got Tyler. They got in the draft Jalen Darden as well. Yeah, damn you, Brady, getting all the good wide receivers.
Curse you, Brady.
Brady.
Dinkelberg.
Brady is the Colts Dinkelberg.
Yeah, definitely the Colts Dinkelberg. Number two is the Dallas Cowboys. Wow. I didn't see that coming.
I mean, I do like Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. Cooper, I think, is a solid one, but that is a good trio, though. It's a tough to beat that trio.
That's actually kind of shocking.
Ooh, and I do love that they got Simi Fehoko from Stanford in the 5th round. I think he's really, really good. I really wanted the Colts to get him.
Mm-hmm. Number three is the Kansas City Chiefs. Didn't expect them to drop.
Well, considering that they're not factoring in tight ends, that could make sense. Unless, are they saying receiving core in terms of...
Who does Dallas have at tight end? Blake Jarwin?
If they are factoring tight ends, then I would put Kansas City above Dallas Cowboys, no question.
Yeah, Anthony, we talked about Fisher earlier. Most of us are predicting after week 5.
Yeah,
they're including tight ends.
All right. So then Kansas City should be higher, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, Rashad doesn't know how PFF works. They're kind of weird, Rashad. But yeah. They say here the Chiefs may have the best wide receiver tight end tandem, so they are including tight ends, but they still put the Cowboys over them, shockingly.
Mm-hmm.
Being as though the Chiefs have probably the best tight end in football, but hey, that's just me.
Of course.
Number 4 is the Buffalo Bills.
I can see that. Stephon Diggs is phenomenal. Cole Beasley as well. They got Emmanuel Sanders and Gabriel Davis as secondary options, and their tight ends aren't anything special at this point, but, as they're saying right there, maybe Dawson Knox breaks out, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Number 5 is the Minnesota Vikings. Wow. With what quarterback, right?
Yeah, with Kirk Cousins as quarterback, but...
I asked people, I was like, do you guys still trust Kirk Cousins or what? Is it just me? Kirk Cousins has been there for a while, and they really haven't done anything but choke playoff games. But,
Kirk Cousins, he is an above-average quarterback who is a little bit reliant on the talent around him. But I think he's a passable quarterback, of course, and he just has phenomenal running back, phenomenal wide receiver duo. Tight ends have been hit or miss from time to time in his career, but that offensive line is terrible, and when he gets under pressure, it kills the offense.
Yeah, man, 100%. Who do you like better? I asked this question before we keep going. Who do you like better, Kirk Cousins or Ryan Fitzpatrick?
Are we talking in terms of who I would rank higher as a player, or who I like just as a player?
Like playing wise, who would you prefer?
I'd probably go Kirk, but Fitzpatrick, he's got the magic, man.
I don't really see a difference in both of their gameplay. You know what I mean? So I feel like Kirk Cousins is a younger Fitzpatrick. That's what
Yeah.
that's how I feel. But most people are choosing Fitz in the comment section. But I really don't see a difference when it comes to them two. I mean, both of them, when they have talent, they're pretty good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really can't see the difference with them. Fitzpatrick's a journeyman though, man. He's been all over the place in the NFL.
Yeah, I really want to see if anyone has collected all of his jerseys, As
Right?
outside of him, of course. I want to see all of those jerseys on a wall somewhere.
100%. Shout out to Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep
He's
going.
the journey.
Number 6 is the Denver Broncos. Wow. I didn't see that coming.
I think
Cortland
that's more
Sutton.
projection at that point.
Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and KJ Hamler.
Yeah, I mean, KJ did not impress last year. Jerry Jeudy was good, but of course he could work a little bit more, surprisingly, on his hands. But they were definitely limited by Drew Lock last year, and Sutton is coming back from injury, so I think they're projecting more with the Broncos right now than actually saying that they're the best.
Yeah, they said Tim Patrick and then 6th rounder Seth Williams. He said, "Whoa, hold it there, Elway." If this is totally one game, it can be totally off the next. Luck of the draw with him. Yep.
You ain't wrong.
Number 7 is the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I'd put the 49ers over the Broncos easy.
Mm-hmm. I like Deebo Samuel, though. He's probably one of the strongest wide receivers I've seen play last year.
Mm-hmm. I was really hoping, Deebo, when healthy, is phenomenal. I was also really hoping that Brandon Ayuk was going to fall to us in the second round.
Yeah. You think we were going to get him?
I had him higher than Pittman, but
Yeah.
I mean, of course, he goes in the first a little bit before us, so it happens.
Yep. Number 8, the Los Angeles Rams.
This is another one that definitely should be above the Broncos, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
the Rams got one of the best wide receiver cores and tight end in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love Higbee and Everett are very, very strong tight end duo, though, of course, Everett's gone now. But Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, if Cooper Kupp is healthy, he's one of the best slot receivers in the game, and Robert Woods is criminally underrated. And they also got Van Jefferson as a rookie who was okay, and as they said before, Deshaun Jackson, he still got it as a deep threat at least.
Yeah. They got Stafford who's going to throw that thing. Deshaun Jackson is not getting talked about a lot. I think Deshaun can have a breakout season. If, he got a quarterback that'll get it out there, pretty much all Deshaun do is run straight down the field anyway. So I think he can have a breakout year.
Yeah, I love me some Stafford. I think the Rams are going to be a very, very dangerous team with him.
Yeah, doesn't worry about us playing them early. I'm not worried, right? Why would I be worried about Donald and that high-powered offense, right?
Donald versus Quentin Nelson. That is going to be the matchup of the decade on the trenches. I love it.
The question going into this game, even though I'll bring it up when we play them, but the matchups. We're running zone, right? Who are our corners going to match up against these guys? You got Woods, Kupp, Van Jefferson, and Deshaun Jackson. And then they got Tutu Atwell. That's kind of a tough zone defensive matchup against these guys.
Especially since the offense would dictate where everyone is lined up against, who the matchup is. Because in zone, you are at your specific area of the field, so you can't really follow the guy. You can't have Kenny Moore shadowing Cooper Kupp or something unless you're doing combo coverage. But that can take away a little bit from your zone and make it a little bit stretched out more. Mm-hmm. So, I do not feel very confident in our ability to beat the Rams, in my opinion. That is going to be, if they are on their A game, they are one of the best teams in the league.
Stephen says, Quiddy eats, Matt gets no time. We will see about that. We will definitely see about that. Let's go ahead and keep going.
Yeah.
Number 9 is the Miami Dolphins. Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle.
You also got Jakeem Grant and Lynn Bowden Jr. and Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
And I really like Mike Gesicki, of course, at tight end. So the Miami Dolphins have a pretty solid receiving core. Not a whole lot of proven production outside of Parker and Gesicki. Will Fuller does have a little bit of that, but of course his suspensions and injuries are something to keep going. But Jalen Waddle, phenomenal playmaker. So yeah, Miami Dolphins could sneak up on a lot of teams this year.
Possible. Depends on the quarterback play.
True. We got to see how Tua develops.
Definitely. Number 10, Seattle Seahawks. I don't know about that. I don't know. You think they're too high?
I mean, they do have one of the best wide receiver duos in the league with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I don't know if I'd quite put them this high just because I am not as confident in their backups. They did grab Gerald Everett as well at tight end. But yeah, I would put them maybe just a hair lower.
Yeah. I don't know, Anthony. I think the league with the extra game, I think the records will be more clear when we're going in. Last year we had too many teams with the same record and somebody had to miss it, which was the Dolphins, which is unfortunately because they had a good year, but I think it'll be more clear with the game added.
Plus, good news for Cowboys fans. They can't go 500 ever again unless they somehow tie.
Yep, 100%. Knowing the Cowboys, they might tie. William said the Colts go 2-3 in the first 5 weeks. Sadly,
but the schedule gets a lot easier afterwards, though. So I'd say Colts fans, be patient on this year. There might be a slow start. It happens from time to time, especially week one. We haven't won a week one in since 2013. So got to break that, of course. But it could be a tough start, but expect big things towards the end of the year.
Yeah, a lot of people expecting 2-3. I'm not mad at that. I mean, just look on the bright side. Our first loss would not be the Jaguars. It'll be the Seahawks. They had promise. The Jaguars last year did not have promise. So look on the bright side, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Number 11, the New York Giants. Huh? Galladay and Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, and John Ross. Evan Ingram, the guy that can't catch the football. Yes, Darius Slayton.
A lot of upside there, but also a lot of inconsistency.
Yeah, you're asking Galladay to step into a number one role he really didn't have in Detroit. I mean, the pressure's going to be on him in New York. Can he live up to that?
I always thought of Kenny Galladay as the guy in Detroit, at least. Like between him and Hawkinson, though, he developed quicker than Hawkinson. So I think, or at least a few years before. So I think Kenny G, assuming he comes back healthy, will be a very good spot for them. Toney, very, very strong yards after the catch guy, and as well deep threat. Shepard and Slayton are solid slot ones. And John Ross is just crazy fast. I mean, that's a very athletic wide receiver core.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Tight end as well, but just got to get consistency.
Yeah. Seahawks, the Colts' first W. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
After the first 5, Colts get a 5-win streak. I think we'll beat the Niners. May not agree, but they're tight end heavy. We can stop them, lock them down on offense, and get it done. Yeah, we'll see how when the time comes. We'll see how it looks. Giants fans can watch old Super Bowl win videos. Definitely. Shout out to Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Number 12 is the Cincinnati Bengals. I probably would have put them up. I probably would have put them higher.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how high you think Jamar Chase will be in his rookie year. I mean, Higgins was a solid receiver last year. Mm-hmm. Tyler Boyd has been a consistently good, not great slot guy. But if Jamar Chase lives up to the hype, then I have no problems with this and think it's too low. But I think 12 is a solid spot for them overall.
Yeah, it's not bad. 13 is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, this one can be a tough one because Odell Beckham Jr. opinions are very, very split on. Health has been a very major factor for him for the last few years, but when healthy is a phenomenal player. So we'll see. I don't know, but Jarvis Landry is rock solid, of course, but apparently his leadership is so great that he's better than Julio.
Yeah.
But
4 Bengals in that division. William said the Browns are higher.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14 is the Green Bay Packers.
And that's interesting. I mean, Devontae Adams is phenomenal, of course, and you got to love Robert Tonyan's breakout last year, though. Will it be able to be replicated? We'll see. It kind of came out of left field, in my opinion, but and I think his touchdowns could be due for a regression. But those two are phenomenal options as far as 2020 is concerned. And outside of that, not really. So I don't know. I feel like Green Bay Packers are maybe just a little bit too high. But
Possible.
yeah.
15 is the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know. I probably would have put them over the Packers. They just got Jared Cook, 34. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. It's a very nice duo.
Yeah. I could see them being a little bit higher than the Packers. But I think it's a close one between those guys.
Yeah. They did get Josh Palmer out the draft. 16 is the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, so for this exercise, they're assuming that Julio gets traded.
I mean, I will put the Colts over the Falcons if he is getting traded.
True, but I don't know. That seems a little. I understand that he's most likely going to be traded, but he's now completely out of this equation on the whole entire thing. So you don't project where he goes to, so he's just not a part of them.
Right.
So I don't know. With the assumption that Julio Jones gets traded, I think they should be maybe even lower.
Lower, yeah.
But Kyle Pitts, phenomenal prospect. We'll see how he does for year one because tight ends tend to have a little bit of a breaking in period and the NFL level. But I mean, this is Kyle Pitts. This is the best tight end that we've seen in our lifetime, apparently, draft scout wise.
Yep.
So maybe the rules don't apply to him in terms of slow starts for tight ends, but love Calvin Ridley though.
100%. Packers and the Rodgers soap opera. Falcons, the team with the Porsche in the driveway for sale. That is super low. 17 is the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, that's the team that I was feeling like should be a lot higher.
Look at the targets they have, man.
I mean, you got
AJ
Hopkins, of
Green
course.
Hopkins, Christian Kirk.
Larry
AJ Green
Fitzgerald.
and Hopkins themselves. I think he retired already.
Did he? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they also have Rondale Moore as well. Andy Isabella, too. Yeah, I think the Cardinals should be a little bit higher on that list.
Definitely.
Even assuming AJ Green isn't like at 100%, I'd still think that they should be higher than some of the other teams on this list.
Yeah. Number 18
Williams
is
sticking 18.
Number 18 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
I mean, I can't deny that. If there's one thing that the Steelers have going for them on their offense, it's the wide receiver group. Love Claypool. Deontay Johnson is really, really good, except, his hands. Juju Smith-Schuster regressed a lot, but, if he bounces back, is a really, really solid player. James Washington is interesting, and they got Ebron and Pat Freiermuth, so that's an interesting tight end group. Freiermuth, you will see how he is year one, but I think he could be an upgrade over Ebron year one.
Yeah, they said the Steelers need better production from Ebron, but they have him ranked at 18. Williams said that the Steelers are 32. Not mad at that.
Yeah.
Number 19 is the Washington football team.
This is a team that I think is going to be on the rise this year. I love me some scary Terry McLaurin. I've seen him since his high school days.
Yeah.
When he was killing my high school's defense a few times every other year or so. He is scary. And Curtis Samuel, great free agent pickup. I love them adding Diami Brown in the third round. He was one of my favorite targets this year in the draft. Adam Humphries is solid. They got Gandy Golden. And Logan Thomas was a really solid tight end as well. So I think they should be higher as well.
Yeah. Keep going. Washington goes 11-6. Number 20 is the Carolina Panthers. Robbie Anderson, Curtis has moved. They got Robbie, DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall.
Yeah, DJ Moore, Robbie, and Terrence Marshall, I think, are going to be really, really good trio. They do also say David Moore, but I think Terrence Marshall will have the edge. I loved his profile coming out. And plus, they also drafted Tommy Tremble. That's
the guy I wanted.
Yeah, that was everyone's dream tight end pick in the third if we traded back, or possibly even in the fourth round. Sadly, it wasn't meant to be. Go Fighting Irish.
It's all right. Nomadic tried to troll what the Washington name. It's all good. Understand.
The Washington name redacteds.
Yep. Number 21 is the Chicago Bears. What?
I think the Colts should be over the Bears.
No, not according to PFF. They don't like the Colts. So,
I mean, I get that Allen Robinson is an amazing wide receiver, but I mean, and I also do like Darnell Mooney, but outside of that, this is not a good receiving group at all. Like, Mooney is okay, and Robinson's amazing, but I just don't see any of this like being over the Colts' depth right there.
Yep. Yeah, Anthony, Pittsburgh is always having career games against the Colts.
Yeah.
Number 22 is the Baltimore Ravens.
Another one that I could see the Colts being ahead of.
Is your blood boiling yet? Or?
It's getting to a simmer, you know. It's not quite at the boil.
Let's keep going. Number 23 is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Lucas has never seen this bullshit before.
This is just comedy, man. It's just comedy. I'm enjoying it.
I'm in pain.
Oh,
PFF, you wound me, man.
Dinkelberg. 24 is the Indianapolis Colts.
Finally.
Yeah, we're at the dead bottom. Almost at 32, man. That's pretty low.
Well, I think we know that the Colts have had an ability to prove PFF wrong in the past, so just another thing to add.
Yeah, man. 24. It's pretty bad. I wanted to see who was at the bottom.
Yeah, who do you think is the worst team?
Wow, the Patriots is 25 with all those tight ends. That's kind of wicked.
I'll take, as long as I'm ahead of the Patriots, I can be at least somewhat happier. So
26 is the Raiders.
That's interesting with Waller there, but yeah.
27 is the Saints. 28 is the Jets.
All right. Marcus, who do you think is 32?
The Lions.
You're thinking the Lions? Yeah, I could see that.
Or
definitely.
The Texans.
Lions or Texans? That is a tough one. I'm going to go Texans because, you know, no one deserves happiness in the AFC South outside the Colts. So, Texans, 32.
I didn't even see the Titans. I just noticed that.
So, hey, we're the second best in our division. All right. There's the Titans. There they are.
They're 29.
We finally remembered them.
That's crazy. I mean, that does make sense, though. They don't really have any wide receivers other than A.J. Brown.
Yeah. They did get Josh Reynolds, but that's just
Oh, the Eagles are 30. Oh, wow.
Don't tell one of our fellow writers over there at the Blue Stable. All right, so turns out I was right.
The Texans are the worst team. Wow.
Yes. They are right where they belong, in the trash can after the last few years of their team's performance. Oh, my God.
All right, let's see what else they got.
All right, let's see the running backs, maybe.
The running back units?
Yeah. We don't have to wait too long for the Colts here.
Oh. Think you're being funny. Ranking all 32 running back units ahead of 2021. Number 1, the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Oh, number 2 is the Colts.
Yep.
They actually showed us some love.
I can agree with that 1 and 2. I can agree. Like, if there's any team that should be ahead of the Colts in terms of a running back unit ranking, it's the Browns.
Yeah.
Just because Chubb and Hunt are insane of a duo.
Yep.
And outside of that, nobody. Give me no other RB units ahead of the Colts.
I like it. Saints, Vikings, Cowboys, Titans, Panthers.
Ooh, Titans all the way there. King Henry is not going to be happy.
Raiders, Broncos, Green Bay, Bears, Giants, Ravens, Patriots, Jaguars, Seahawks should be lower, Chargers, 49ers, Washington football team
49ers
should be
that low.
higher.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And football team.
Yeah. Bengals, Bills. Bills in a good spot. So are the Chiefs. Rams should be higher, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think Cam Akers is going to blow up.
Yeah, 100%. Steelers, yeah, they're in a good spot. Lions, definitely. Buccaneers should be higher. What are they doing? They got Tom Brady. You gave him the best wide receiver core, but don't give him a good running back core? It's kind of wicked. Eagles, Cardinals is low. Texans, Falcons. Wait, who's the lowest? Why is the Texans 29?
Just because of depth, I guess. I mean, Burkhead, Johnson, Lindsey, Ingram. I mean, it's a solid group of veterans and cast-offs and everything, but like no one any special at all.
Oh, the Jets are the lowest. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. I mean,
Tevin
Coleman.
Yeah.
Sadly, hasn't been great with injuries recently. And outside of that, they got Ty Johnson, LaMichael Perrine. Oof.
Yeah.
And Michael Carter as a rookie, maybe he's good, but, it's a roll of a dice with the rookie.
I don't think they have any more rankings.
Yeah, William is looking at wanting us to go into team rankings. I don't think they've gotten that out yet.
They got the best safeties.
32 best safeties. And this isn't unit. This is individuals.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
They did corners, too. Outside corners.
Mm-hmm. They also did inside corners. I remember seeing that on Twitter. The number one inside corner, Kenny freaking Moore.
Yeah, they did right on that. We don't even have to look at that one.
Yeah, easy.
I don't even think Jamal Adams should be here. He's like a box. Like a
Where
linebacker.
do you think the Colts safeties are going to be on this one?
Got to be 15 or lower.
15 or lower.
15 or lower.
Hmm.
According to them. Hey, Johnny's from Serbia. Shout out to you. How was your week? So you two will make a good podcasting team.
Maybe, Anthony. I appreciate the compliment, my friend. We've definitely been collaborating a lot recently, so I've been enjoying bouncing off of Culture Shock here with Marcus.
Don't make me blush. I use PFF a lot. Keep my rankings of the Colts by the numbers website going. Nice.
Yeah,
Fine.
PFF is good for stats and everything. It's just I do not feel good about their subjective rankings and everything, and their grades can be inconsistent.
Midnight. Ooh, I got a late night stream.
Damn, I feel honored then, Johnny.
Right?
Yeah.
What up, Big Play?
I want to spend my midnight on the Culture Shock. I appreciate that, Johnny.
I like that. Midnight with Culture Shock. Number 1 is Justin Simmons. Oh, they're keeping it discreet too. I like it. Number 2 is Harrison Smith. 3, John Johnson. 4, Marcus Williams. Number 5 is Minka. I think Minka should be higher, man.
Yeah, I think Minka should at least be higher than Marcus Williams, in my opinion.
6 is Derwin James. 7 is Marcus May.
Derwin James.
He's a dog, too.
Yeah, phenomenal player, but just that injury bug. I think he should be lowered a little bit because of that. Like, I think Jesse Bates should be over Derwin James.
So this is an okay week. The only bad part is that the Lakers lost in the first round. It's not that bad, but I understand what you're saying.
If you're a LeBron fan or a Laker fan, then it's bad for almost everyone else. They're like,
yeah, it's okay, Rashad. I know you're in here still.
Yeah.
Said you've been up in midnight before? Hey, man, join the club.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Adrian Amos. Number 10 is Jamal Adams. Number 11 is the Honey Badger. No.
Yeah, Honey Badger is a little too low in my opinion right there.
Yeah.
Kevin
Kevin
Byard.
Byard. Anthony Harris?
I think Byard should be even lower and Anthony Harris should be a little bit higher.
Micah Hyde at 14. He had a really good season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Said your wins loss.
All right, so we're getting to that 15 one. So
Yep.
we might start seeing Blackman or Kari Willis.
I think this is it. Nope. Jordan Poyer.
They're going back-to-back Bills right there.
That's kind of wicked. PFF is kind of wicked.
All right, maybe 16.
Buda Baker should be higher. He should be higher. Oh, wow. 17.
Kareem Jackson. That I think he should be a lot lower than that. In my opinion.
He used to play corner, but I guess they like that. So number 18.
I do like Savage. Darnell Savage. He was one of my favorite draft crushes in 2018.
Jimmy Ward. 19.
All right. Cam Curl.
Antoine Woodford Jr. Devin McCourty. Yeah. Wow.
This is the ones where I feel like you could have a case where Blackman or Kari Willis could be above these guys.
Not according to PFF. Let's just keep going. My predictions was terrible. I was way too high.
Are they going to at least make the top 25?
I'm going to let you answer that.
Knowing PFF, I'm going to say no because they are terrible, terrible people for the Colts fans. And for my blood pressure.
They'll kick MVP? Definitely has to be Curry. Jimmy Ward's a stud. Yeah, he is. Baker needs to be number 2 right behind Blackman, of course. Yeah, I like that.
All right.
23, Eddie Jackson. Wow. Kari Willis is ahead.
Kari Willis.
Ahead of Julian Blackman.
I think it's because he's been more consistent and we've seen more from him. But, I mean, I think Kari should be a little bit higher than that. I think he should be potentially near that top 20.
He definitely have to be over McCourty.
Yeah.
McCourty's like almost 40. What?
Over McCourty and over Kareem Jackson.
Yeah. 25 is Justin Reed. This is embarrassing. 26 is Jabril Peppers. Didn't really do much last year, but okay. 27, Deshaun Gibson Jr. 28, Landon Collins. 29, Chuck Clark. 30, Ronnie Harrison. 31.
Is he going to be at least on 32? This is the last one. Nope. It's Jeremy Chin.
Blackman does not make the safety rankings. Wow.
All right. Jeremy Chin, local guy. I got a lot of respect for him coming out as a small school guy. However, he had a few flashy plays here or there, but he missed more tackles than I have seen a rookie safety in a long, long time. He needs to learn how to wrap up guys. And while Blackman did regress at the end of the year, I think as a total year, he should be ahead of Jeremy Chin. No question about it.
I can't say I'm surprised. I can't say I'm not surprised, man. That is just
I'm not
disrespectful.
mad.
That is disrespectful.
I'm just disappointed.
That's just disrespectful. It's like, come on, man.
And they don't even put a honorable mentions because why not?
Man, that's just disrespectful.
William is like, they are on drugs.
They definitely are, man.
I don't know what they're having, but I'm not going to have it.
Okay, so Jair is the best outside corner over Jalen, according to them. Marlon Humphreys at 3.
Yeah, Blackman will have a chip on his shoulder. You're right, Nomadic Brian.
Xavier Howard's at 4. Bradbury's at 5. Gilmore's at 6. Wow. Must be nice.
We got Reggie.
Tre'Davious White's at 7. Denzel Ward at 8. William Jackson at 9. Marcus Peters
where
at
is
10.
Xavier Rhodes? It's going to be maybe 18.
Do you see that?
What? They put Richard Sherman?
A free agent is on the list. He might not even get signed, but he's just one of the best. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Especially him coming off of an injury right now.
Yeah.
That is
33.
disrespectful to everyone below 11 right there.
33, man.
All right, we got Adoree Jackson. Don't like that one. Putting Steven Nelson as an outside one. I don't know. I've seen him a lot more as a inside guy, but okay, PFF. Okay.
I mean, he's a free agent. He's
Another
probably
one.
not going to even be on the roster.
They are hating.
Let's just
That's
keep
all
going.
it is.
Byron Jones should be higher.
Yeah.
Carlton Davis, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Jackson, 16 is a good spot for him.
Yeah.
17, Joe Hayden, I think he should be lower.
Mm-hmm.
Lattimore, I think he should be lower too. I don't really like Lattimore like that.
He's regressed a lot from his rookie year.
Jamel Dean, I understand.
Yeah. So
Darius
Xavier
Williams.
Rhodes is not in that top 20. Oof.
Nomadic Brian, you lost. He's not at 20, buddy.
Yep,
At 20.
it's Darius Williams.
Yep, and then Kyle Fuller. I think Fuller should be higher. That's just me.
Will we have a Colt in the top 32? And outside corners.
Will he even be listed is the real question.
Yeah, that's the thing. Jason Verrett. Again, I see him more as an inside guy. They keep on putting...
Let's just keep going. 24. 23 is Darius Slay. I think Slay should be higher, even though he goes up against a lot of tough matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get enough respect. Braylon, wow. Roby said,
Roby
wow.
at this point ahead of him.
Wow.
Oof. Again,
wow.
Inside guy. Shaquille Griffin I like, but I think he should be a little bit higher.
He was more than culture shocked. I like that. Kendall Fuller, 26.
See, they give the Colts love on obvious ones, sure, but then every chance they can, they try and put a little bit of an underrating on the Colts when it's not obvious, you know?
Janoris Jenkins, are you joking? Are you serious? Janoris Jenkins should be lower.
Lower than Xavier Rhodes, definitely.
Malcolm Butler should be lower. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What? Darby? Xavier Rhodes is 30, bro. Xavier Rhodes is really 30. That's just...
Here's the thing. I know I talk trash about PFF's grades, but they had Xavier Rhodes as a top 10 coverage corner in their coverage grades in 2020, and they're putting him at 30.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know how inconsistent their analysis is. This guy was a top 10 cornerback in coverage last year, and they're saying that he's looking to build on it this year, but they put him all the way at 30.
Yeah, that's kind of bad. Malcolm Butler is trash.
Malcolm Butler would be higher, like if this was 2016, 2017, maybe even 2018, but he regressed a lot with the Titans over the last few years. Yeah, their models, their projections are very, very skewed. This is not a good article. They have inside guys on their outside corners right there. They are very inconsistent with their analysis.
It has to be biased.
I love their stats. I hate their analysis. That's all I say about PFF consistently.
Power rankings. Did we do that one?
No, we did not do power rankings. So let's see. Where do we think the Colts are going to be Let us know in the comments. But
Well,
Culture Shock, what you feeling?
Power rankings, we have to be at least 15 or lower. I don't see us any way higher.
Knowing PFF, I'd agree with you.
Knowing PFF, yes.
I'm going to say we show up at like 11 or 12. You know, like they'll
according to
project us being...
PFF, according to PFF, yes, I would love to have him in a coach uniform.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Buffalo, yeah.
Oh, you're seeing it? Yeah.